Hi there, this is KV, and this is the moon phase report for Pisces. So, you guys, this is really cool. You guys should really be feeling a lot better, a lot more relaxed, a lot more hopeful about your future and about life. Things are coming in so beautifully to really kind of like amplify what it is to be a Pisces. Jupiter moving into Cancer is going to be awesome because it's going to be trining you. And you know, it's going to be trining your sun or your ascendant, depending on which one of those is Pisces. And, you know, if your sun conjunct Mercury, so your Mercury might be right there too. So you may have other planets there too that it will be amplifying and bringing just a jolt of optimism and hope into your life. So that's going to be really good. Now, one thing about this one is that it's very much focused in, and in the new moon that'll be coming soon, in just bringing more joy, bringing more creativity, feeling more loving, definitely for you guys. Love partner, it's wide open right now for you to meet someone. So we'll talk more about that on the new moon, and that's where we can really like use your new moon wishes to get kind of clear on that. You could make maybe even like for the next new moon, all of your wishes and concerns, if you are single, can be about bringing someone into your life that's more kind of your match. This love energy is so in the air too. So I would, you know how I made the prediction a while back that there'd be lots of babies, there'd be lots of babies being born. Right now we're kind of in this space where I will make the prediction that a lot of people will be coming together with people that really feel like the one. And, you know, time will tell if it is the one, because, you know, Neptune's also here in your sign. So there's definitely room for you to meet someone that's like spiritual, fairy tale, dreamy kind of person. But, you know, with that, we still just have to go through time. You know, because love is love is love, especially in the beginning stages. It's like, this is it. Oh my gosh, we're very optimistic when we meet somebody. You know, the beginning parts of this is the one. And how many of us have said that and then it's not down the road? So I'm always like, go slow, you know, feel the exuberance of that, but still just know, you know, for it to really be the right thing takes a lot of different components that really don't show up until over time. In the beginning, it's kind of like there's a gateway open that makes it like very easy to feel like this is really special. But then it's just like as the months go on, then it narrows. And if it is, you know, then awesome. This is great. Make it sustainable, you know, keep it going. But so one thing that's going to be happening with you is there is an awareness tension right now with friends and with groups and with kind of doing something too that is about giving back. So these are things that are on your mind, and you will be kind of even thinking more about like maybe who you need to let go. Something maybe could be taking too much of your energy, people that aren't right, a group that isn't really going to amount to anything in the long run. Maybe it was good for you a couple years ago, but now it's something you're doing that just doesn't really need to continue on. That could be something. You can also be kind of awakening to this wanting to really give back kind of space. And there is, and you know that, a transformative kind of service to others that you are here to do, especially being Pisces. Pisces is always kind of hooked up in that they're here to serve others. And no matter what shows up in their charts, it's still something that is a big part of who you are. And kind of even like maybe letting go of thinking you can't do something on a global level maybe, or letting go of something that is keeping you from believing you can create change, maybe something like that. Moving into a space of being like, I know my influence can make a difference. And maybe even like coming to that, you know, full-on knowing is going to shift things that we'll talk more about in the new moon, which is bringing more love into your life, being more creative, expressing your creativity more, you know, maybe even using that as your service to others. And And then love too, and romantic love. So it can even be like something, just some little mental thing or whatever that you're letting go of that is limiting you from the scope of what you can really do, can kind of open up more ways for you to express your creativity. I mean, imagine a kid who knows they can do anything. You know, imagine what they're going to create versus someone who's like, you know, you can't make a living as an artist. Art is kind of, you know. So what that kid's going to create versus someone who's like, yeah, is going to be like night and day. So there can be something shifting in you that's really kind of bringing this more confidence and really kind of showing you that you can do this. Why not? You know, that's my kind of thing, is why not? You know, and it's funny because I have this one really good friend, and he's you know, one of the top in his field, very distinguished, knows everything. He's kind of one of those know-it-alls, which is pretty annoying, actually, because just, I don't know, it's just annoying. But anyway, he can be really negative. And he's a really good guy. He has a really good heart. But everything is no, no, no. Like, no is just instantly. Even everything you say to him, he'll be like, no, that's not what I meant. No, that's not da-da-da. But I was over at his house the other day talking, and he was, I don't know, I remember like just being in his space and like, and because he has a wealth of wisdom, you know, he can help with a lot of things, but a lot of things you have to take him with a grain of salt. But he was just saying, he was just talking really more negative about how things don't work out and how hard it's supposed to be and all these kind of things, and are just, you know, I don't know, it was very much in a box that I'm not comfortable being in. But even being in his space, I could feel like, maybe I'm wrong. You know, it does like really fill you up with doubt when you're around so many people, or, you know, people with really strong opinions of what you can or cannot do. And I just remember like just kind of feeling it. I definitely felt how, you know, my energy just started to go down, and my vibration, my hope, love vibration started to go down. And then I was like, you know, I was still able to, like, I know this guy, and I know that he always does this to me, and I have to, you know, build my shields up around him. It was easier for me to walk around and be like, dude, that's just him. That's his take on it. I don't have to buy into that. But so something with you guys, too, understanding that you're so sensitive and you so feel what everybody's going through, so it's so easy for you to lose your faith. And one thing that's going to be shifting is, one, you'll be like me, where you'll be more able to be like, you know what, this is how this person believes life to be, and it doesn't match up with mine. It doesn't mean I have to buy into his way and get depressed now thinking, no way, I can do what I want to do because he said no, you know. So learning to really kind of put your shields up, take people's kind of limited way of seeing life, take it with a grain of salt. Know that still it feels so much better to believe in yourself, right? And to believe that you can do, instead of, you know, oh no, I can't do that. So Jupiter will kind of really be kind of helping you with that, with just kind of boosting you more, with just coming from nowhere, but this feeling of like, I can do this. I know I can do this. So let me finally look at the chart and see. And see, that's what's so, oh, and then I see, I haven't gotten around to write the Jupiter in Cancer yet, but Jupiter's going to be moving into your 5th house. That's why, yeah, you're going to meet somebody. Like, if you don't meet somebody right now and over the next year, it's going to be because you're working on a career, mission, purpose thing that demands that you stay in isolation and not come together with a couple, because that can, you know, just kind of is part of it for a lot of us. So it will either be that, or there's just something still that is, there's something still that is, there's a thought or something illusion-based that you are still saying that you can't have love, or maybe you're just saying, I can never trust anybody. I'm never going to be in an honoring relationship. So it can be something that you're just still holding on to that is keeping gates up. Because you should not, if you are single, really be single now, or in this next coming year, because there doesn't get a better opportunity to come together with someone who's a really good match, who really kind of brings a lot of happiness and nurturing, and someone who just really feels like family. So especially like as the year gets going and once we get to the end of it, if you still have not come together with someone, it's one of those things. Either you're just not believing in that you deserve love, which is a big Pisces thing. You know, you kind of think only everybody else gets love. We don't really deserve love. So it could be something like that. Or it's that you're working on something so important, because this is also the creativity house. So this is the art house. This is expressing your creative gifts. And then of course, yeah, with Uranus in the second house too, this is you expressing your creative gifts right now. So if it doesn't come together, it's because of that. It's that your energies are supposed to be focused on that first. And I meet a lot of people that are like that. They have to ground this thing that they're supposed to do first. And then this other person who comes in to support them and go upward with them will come into their life. So that's what's going to be going on. And that's going to be awesome. It's just going to be like, yeah, it's just going to be super, super sweet. So right now too, that's going along with that. It's so funny, like I just start talking and saying these things and then they show up and then I see it in the chart. And I was like, oh, that's why I was talking about that. So yeah, it's the potential for you to get really serious about this thing that you're wanting to share that is crucial. You're a crucial piece in it, you know, your story, your message, your wisdom that you've learned all along, all these steps along the path, your journey is something that's really important, and you're going to get really serious about believing you can do this. And it's going to be something creative based, like spiritual based, sharing this message kind of thing. Or not necessarily sharing a message kind of thing, maybe though. Teaching something, finally, like what is that thing that says like you spend 10 years learning about it, you spend 10 years working with it, and then 10 years teaching it. So kind of think about like what age you are with what you've just learned, you know, because that kind of makes me think about where I am at now with my creative thing too. But there's a big amounts of time that need to be sat in each part of it, learning it. You don't just learn something, reading it through a book, taking a course, and 2 months later go out to teach people. You can, but you're never going to affect people the way that you can if you work with what you just learned for the next 10 years. Then you go out and teach it, and everybody wants a piece of what you got. So that teaching aspect, you could be, if you're at the point of teaching it now, then awesome. Then the gates are open for massive, well-received reception from others, where they're really like, oh my gosh, have you heard what that person's doing? Like if you're at the teaching stage of it, the aspects are beautiful, and this will be the best, one of the best years of your life for sure. And if anything, also one of the best years that's leading up to several more of the best years, because then, you know, in a couple years time we're going to have Saturn up in your 10th house for 2.5 years, 11th house 2.5 years, 12th house. But right there is where you really want it when you've been working on something. So whatever you're inspired to create, do, share right now, just keep plugging at it, and you know, do it with that optimism that's going to be ushering in. And Jupiter is going to be doing that on the 26th. So going into Cancer and then moving into that house of more creatively based, inspired, happy, joyful kind of living. And you know, depending on where the house cusp is on there, Jupiter could still be in your 4th house right now. And if that's the case, that is one of more just kind of clearing the playing field, clearing the back to the roots kind of thing, of really kind of making sure everything is how you want it. You know, you're not carrying a lot of issues with you still. You've worked to heal them, you know, maybe messages from childhood that have kind of squashed you and made you think you can't do. So depending on what your 5th house cusp degree is, You know, if it's 20 degrees, you still have 8 more months of this before you go into that creative space. If it's 3 degrees, you have weeks to go, and then you'll be in it. So that kind of is another thing that depends on this, you know, where you'll be on that. But, and then Mercury too is going retrograde the same day as Jupiter's going into Cancer. So that's going to be really cool, because basically right now is, you know, this thing of you're getting your foundation all in place, maybe even to express this creativity in more of a natural, fluid kind of way. You're also, you know, kind of seeing like who you need to let go of, like friend-based or thought-based, that's saying you can't do this thing that affects the world, that is a humanitarian-based thing. And then with Mercury going retrograde in a couple days, that's going to kind of make you more think about what it's going to take to facilitate these new things of joy and creativity and love into your life. So it's always cool like that when we have an insight or we have clarity into something, and then we take the time to go back and kind of go through what we've already done, see if it's working. It's going to be a really good, especially if you're working on any kind of creative based thing like a book, sharing anything. The Mercury going retrograde, you're going to be able to pull back and really see things in a different way. That's the kind of new perspective thing that's coming on. So take the time with this. Don't rush out. I'm actually going to be, because with me and Mercury retrograde, I have different views on it. I don't necessarily believe that it is the worst time ever to start something. I really don't. It kind of depends on what it's working on. I think it can be a great time. You know, I remember this friend is the one who kind of opened me up to that, because I was more on the negative of, oh yeah, don't move forward, don't start anything, don't da-da-da-da, you know, just sit here and do nothing. It does give us a different vantage point of seeing things, so that's awesome. But she had a whole list of all these companies, I think like Boeing, I think I remember her saying Boeing, all these companies that were started during Mercury retrograde. She was like, see? And I was like, okay, all right, okay. So it's kind of how you look at it. This also goes along with how, in my opinion, astrology needs to be reinterpreted. So if you've already been working on some kind of thing, and I'm going to be starting something just to prove it. On the next new moon, I'm going to be starting this new thing that I've been wanting to share with everybody. So I'm like, I'm going to do it on a Mercury retrograde just to show you that it does work. But it's something I've been thinking about for so long anyway. And also because this is in Cancer, if it is anything nurturing based, supportive based, take care of, kind of thing like that, then yeah, put it out now. Why not? Everybody's thinking along those lines anyway. That's what they're going to be thinking about, you know, with like security. How do I feel happier? How do I feel more like life has a purpose? How do I feel more nurtured from life? And not like it's only taking away and I'm standing here naked with nothing. You know, so the thing that I'm going to be bringing out to the world is something that relates to those things. So I was like, why not do it during a Mercury retrograde, you know? So, yeah, but there's going to be more pullback. This can also be a time when past loves can come back, when you have Mercury going retrograde in this house of kind of, I don't know that I think of it as true love, but I definitely think of it as that, you know, just meeting somebody and feeling awesome and romantic kind of feelings of joy. And so it could also be that somebody over the next 3.5 weeks comes back to find you and kind of has this whole new perspective of what you guys had before, and something could be coming together with that. So that's kind of cool, huh? Or maybe. And you know, too, anytime you gain a new perspective, it can be a totally different person in your eyes now. So it could, you know, be a really good thing. But, okay, cool. So I think I'm going to leave it at that, because I've decided I want to go out and have fun today. So I'm going to zoom through these, and then I'm probably going to go find some pot, and I'm probably going to go have... See, like, I talk about pot a lot because I really do love it, and I really do think that it's a good thing for people. I know it is. Nobody can convince me otherwise. I know too much of the background of hemp and pot, with the government, and it's like the most valuable resource, which is why they want it to be illegal and da da da. I know that with hemp, we wouldn't have to cut down any trees, we wouldn't have the rainforest being chopped down to make chopsticks if we used hemp. So, but anyway, like, I can't really have it around me though because I love it too much. So, I do say in doses. But to me, like, that's what I've been saying now. After my recordings, I always want to get high now. So I have to go find someone who has pot. So that's what I was thinking I want to do. After these, I'm going to go smoke pot, and I'm just going to, like, you know, because it's the solstice today, so it's really about keeping still, you know, before, almost like exhaling, almost like the whole inhale, and then the exhale, you know, as it goes as far as it can go, and then it's going to start, you know, going backwards. So that's what I'm doing today, so maybe you should follow my lead. And just for the record, I don't drink though, so I don't have I'm not going to say my issues or concerns on that, but I drink like once a year, and I have the time of my life when I do though. I love to drink, but it just doesn't agree with my body. You know, I'll have a migraine the next day, and I'll be so bitchy. Like, as bitchy as I can ever be is how I am after I drink. So, like, experiencing that enough makes me like, I don't really like to drink. So, pot is my thing because it doesn't do anything to me but really make me feel inspired and like, oh, yeah, I get it now, you know? Oh my God. So, I don't think that's all so bad, you know? Okay, anyway, I'm gonna go. You have a beautiful full moon, and I will see you for the new moon in 2 weeks. Okay, bye.